Creative Tech Podcast. Hi, I'm Kaori Ray, product designer and author. Our mission is to help people in their career and lives by sharing their creative and technology stories. Let's get started.
Hi, Shelley. Thank you so much for attending the first interview session. So appreciate. Yes, and I'm curious, what is this T-shirt?
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is Oakland Roots. It is a soccer team, football team, in Oakland, California. Yeah, they're kind of like kind of a startup. It's really cool, and they also just started a women's team, Oakland Soul. These earrings are also from Oakland. Yeah. So the tree represents the oak trees that used to grow in abundance in Oakland, California. So yeah, this is kind of where my heart and soul is. It's still in the Bay Area in Oakland, California. Yeah.
So you are like a sports girl, and then
I grew up as an athlete. Yeah, I started playing softball when I was 12, and I got it from my dad. My dad grew up in Japan. He played baseball here, and so his love of sports. I just remember like every Sunday we would have the American football on the TV, and he'd be yelling at the television. And so yeah, and he one of our favorite baseball teams is the Oakland A's. And I remember going to games when I was little, and so he really got me into sports, and then I wanted to play. So I played softball, I played tennis, I was also a dancer, and I just love being a sports fan, so just attending sporting events and the atmosphere is just so fun. Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, but my love of sports, when it comes to my creativity, doing photography and videography, it was natural that I wanted to capture sports content. And so, yeah, I had this amazing project that I did hosting my own sports travel show where I would go around in different cities, like, for example, Mexico City, and attend American football down there. NFL was Raiders versus the Texans was my first game. And really just being excited about other fans that were like me that wanted to travel far to go support their teams, right? And I'm just like, there's got to be something to this. I want to talk to other fans. I want to understand, like, when people travel, what do they do when they're in town before and after the game? And so, yeah, I think that was just a natural, like, storytelling avenue for me to talk about what it's like to be a sports fan, but also wanting to understand culture through sports and travel. So yeah,
I see. It's amazing. Your favorite sports and creativity, videography, and then traveling, everything mixing. It's amazing triangle.
Hi. ありがとうございます。Thank you. Yeah.
So today I want to ask about your new challenge. So Shelley, did you? So you created a new website. Your new website, and you started to your YouTube channel.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming for both of these things. I've always been a creative, but I've always had like traditional jobs, and so this is the first time I've been really doing my own business. And with doing your own business, you're talking about your own brand. How do you talk about yourself in the world, and that includes having a website, especially if you're going to be a creative. And so I was able to launch an updated version of my website a couple of weeks ago, which was like a huge feat. I mean, I think any creative can relate, right? Like creating content and then putting it in a way that makes sense to another person. It takes a lot of work, and it's never finished, right? You're continually building on it. And then the YouTube thing has actually nothing to do with like my professional work with photography, videography, but I think it's a natural extension of it. YouTube has been on my mind for decades, like not decades, years. And I've always wanted to create my own channel and practice sharing my own story and using my voice, but I just, for the longest time, was really blocked by fear, but also like, what am I going to talk about? Like, what do people even want to hear me talk about or share? And then finally, I just did it last week. So I launched my YouTube channel. It's Shell, CSEE _ with a Z. So seeing me. Because my name's Shelley.
Yeah.
And a lot of the content is really going to be around my investigation of my own Japanese ancestry. So it's very personal versus like the more sports content or like other public things that I've done. Yeah.
I see. Interesting. And you said, so we had a good Chinese lunch today, and then Shelley said, one of the goal that you want to create a YouTube videos because you want to make a community in Japan, correct?
Correct. Yeah, community has always been a value of mine, but I think now more than ever, it's definitely my top value. I feel like, especially being a freelancer, being a creative, being a foreigner living in Japan, you can feel this sense of like you don't belong. And I think this is where community comes in. Whether you're joining a community or creating your own, you really need to surround yourself with people that see you, that value you, that support you, that encourage you to go for your dreams and like walk this path that you're on. And I want to do that for other people too. And I want to create a space where people don't feel alone. And I think that's big reason why this YouTube thing happened, because I know I'm not alone, but I don't know everybody that's out there that feels the same. So I want to see, where are you at? Find me.
Yeah, this is so good because I also came back from New York last year, and then I didn't have any community. Yeah, so that I also had to establish like a new community or joining new community or finding new people. Yeah, so it was, of course, thanks to internet we could find, but not easy.
Yeah, and the way we found each other was through Creative Tokyo first, but then we also found out we're part of Women in Technology Japan too. So a lot of these communities overlap. So because you're not from Tokyo originally, ne?
Yeah, okay, so my hometown is next to Tokyo. It's Saitama. Yeah, not New York, New Jersey.
Kind of like, it is kind of like that, ne? So I actually have some family from Chichibu, Saitama.
Really?
Yeah, which I need to discover what that's all about. I don't know my family there, but yeah, there's the connection there too.
Really interesting. Cool. Okay, someday maybe in summertime we can do exploring in Chichibu area with your videography stuff.
Yeah, that'd be really great. So how is your community building journey going now?
So I am a bilingual and product designer. And then thanks to the Creative Tokyo, this meetup, I could meet you and I could meet some good people who is working at some company as maybe engineers or product manager, designer. Okay, I started to interview project from last September because I met many people who already have permanent residence, like a green card, without Japanese husband or Japanese wife. Oh, interesting. And then I started to ask them, how did you get your green card in Japan? And then they said they already have senior level work experience, and then living in here maybe over 2 years. That's why they have point system so that they could get a permanent visa easily.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know about that, but yeah, visa is always something to consider when looking at any country. But especially Japan, it's not easy. And luckily when I first moved here and was working with Twitter, I was on the humanities engineering visa. But now that I'm freelance, luckily my grandma, my obachan, is a Japanese national. So, and a lot of people don't know this, but there is a Japanese descendant visa. If you're a child or a grandchild of a Japanese national, you can apply for a visa, and it's 1, 3, or 5 years. Unfortunately, I keep getting approved for just 1 year, but hopefully,
Yeah.
yeah.
Nice.
But yeah.
Interesting. So, and then I started to interview because, so when I was in New York, there are many nerd people who can speak Japanese, but who couldn't live in Japan because they didn't have good technology skill or work experience. So they came to Japan, but they became a English teacher, but salary is not high. And then they had to live in super countryside, no English speaker. So they isolated, and then they had to move back to New York with tears.
Yeah, it's so tough. And it's so cool that now you're back in Japan. You're helping other people do that back in the States, but the other way, to come to Japan.
Yes.
Like giving people hope and encouragement that they can do that. Because it's true, it's like if you really want to come to Japan, like you can make it work. There are options. It's just, it is going to be hard work, maybe. But that's like a really beautiful way of building community. I think the cross-culturalness, like I love this, the Japanese-American connection.
Yeah, you are right. So, what can I say? Through the interview articles, I got many messages from strangers who want to move to Japan, especially in the US. Nowadays, kind of still difficult situation to get new position, right? That's why I want to advocate. Why not come to Japan? Because Japanese government, we really want to invite American people or foreigner who has tech skills. So recently they started to digital nomad visa, right?
Which is exciting. I think that I don't think anybody thought Japan would do that, to be honest.
Yeah, so okay, last question, Shelley. Tell us about your kind of goal or next milestone in this year.
Whoa.
Okay, so for me, okay,
Yes.
I can talk about. Yeah, I really love your passion to support community or create community. I have kind of a similar passion. Through the community, we can share our stories, and then we don't need to scare to open-minded because Japanese people are not open-minded. And also, I want to help the people or startup who want to expand to Japan or to the US, because I knew Japan and the US startups pain points from the designer's perspective. Yeah, so this is my next milestone. That's why I'm making kind of many circle, collaborate with you, collaborate with someone, and then it's small world, it's connecting, right?
It just kind of flows. I mean, I think this is why this is so inspiring to meet someone like you, because you are creative, you are tech-minded, you have this bicultural experience, but also you love storytelling and like being so curious and asking questions. And I think this is why you and I connect a lot, because this is where I want to create content like this too, and we have a lot of overlap, and that's why we're doing this together now. Gosh, but a milestone. I mean, yeah, continuing to build community, very important to me. And with my YouTube channel, I guess finally starting to really dig deeper into my Japanese ancestry and document that and try to get to know who I am through my lineage. And then I also need to start studying Japanese again. Because I made the recent decision that I do want to continue living in Japan. I don't know for how long. But I do feel like if you want to live in Japan, like please learn the language. A lot, people do speak English, like Kaori, but like I think you would have a better and more thriving lifestyle if you had a better handle of the language. And I do see that as a limitation for me. So getting back to 日本語を勉強しましょう。
Thank you so much for listening our Creative Tech podcast today. We hope our story to help your career and life. See you soon. Bye bye.